Hello, everyone. Let's do this program. This will be, we will be doing several things. So here, this program is all about for loops. A for loop is really that's very similar to a while loop or do while loop. It still uses all the three things we discussed. That means you need to initialize a loop control variable, you need to have a correct logical condition, you need to update the loop control variable. So let's do the first thing. Use a for loop to display the numbers from 1 to 20. This is pretty easy. We use a for loop for int, okay? This is the loop control variable declaration. I will just use I equals to 0 from 1 to 20. So let's start at 1. I is less than, and we need to say equal to 20 because we want to have 20 here, right? And I plus plus. So we want to do it one by one. And always remember this curly braces. Even if you only have one statement, it's always a good habit to have the curly braces. This way you will never have a problem with it. Okay, so see out, we print out. From 1 to 120. So our loop control variable starts at 1 and then it increment each time. So it's the first time it's 1 and then the condition is true and it will print out it. You can use this I variable for the printing, right? Because it varies, it changes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 until it's 20. And when it's 21, the condition is not true anymore, it will exit. So we can just print out I. Okay, let's run. And you can see it prints out 1, 2, 3, 4 until 20, right? So that's one, that's the first one. And for this for loop, just remember, it will do this initialization statement once. So first it's 1, and then it does the comparison. 1 is less than or equal to 20, that's true. And next, it will print out I, which in the current case, it's 1. After the printing, it will increment I by 1. So I now becomes 2. And it will do the same thing, check to see the condition if it is true, and then print out 2, and then print out 3, etc. Let's do the second one. Write a for loop that will only print out the odd numbers between 1 and 100. Okay, so we will do the same thing. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than or equal to, this time, it's still 1, okay, and 100. So less than or equal to 100, here instead of 0, we want it to be 1 because we want to start at 1. And we only want the odd numbers, so we can start at 1, add 2 to it, and it will be 3. Add 2 to it, it will be 5. 2 to it, it will be 7. So I plus equal to 2. Okay, instead of saying I plus plus, you can do this, or you can do I equals to I plus 2, either way. But you cannot do this. You cannot simply say I plus 2. I plus 2 is an expression. It's not an assignment statement. That means I has never been changed because you never assign a new value to it. Okay, so that's why here it's actually an assignment statement. I'm sorry, this shouldn't be that. I plus equal to 2, right? Okay, now let's print it out. And we just do the same thing. Just copy and paste it here. Okay, let's run. And you can see that's the first loop until 20, and then we have 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. until 99. 100 is not printed out. So that's correct, right? That's one way of doing it. Another way is simply, let's copy this. Okay, I'm going to make a little bit change here so that you know how else you can do that. Another way is just, let's say we increment it by 1. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. Then you can add a condition, okay? If this number modulus 2 is equal to 1, then we print it out. Think about it. Any number modulus 2, if the remainder is 0, that means it's an even number. If the remainder is 1, that means it's an odd number. 4 modulus 2 is 0, right? It's an even number. If it's a multiple of 2, it's an even number. If it's not, the remainder will be 1. Then it's an odd number. So this is another way of doing it. Okay, let's run. Oh, let's do this. Let's just add a statement to separate them, right? Okay. Copy and paste. The best way to edit. Okay. Okay. So if you can see, this is the 20 numbers, and here, here we have a 1, 3, 5. Do you know why this is like this? 1 is here. Think about it. Why? But anyway, you can see this is the same, 1, 3, 5, 7, because we have a condition for our printing, right? It has to have a remainder of 1 for it to print. Otherwise, we do nothing. We don't print. So this is an if statement without the else. Why do we have that problem? Because we did not put the new line character there. So the next number is printed immediately after this. Okay, so now it will be good. Let's do the next one. Write a for loop that asks the user to enter 10 numbers and add them together to have a total and display it. Okay, so ask the user to enter 10 numbers and add them together. In order to add them together, we need to declare a number, a variable that's called total. You can call it total or sum. And when you accumulate a sum, you always need to declare and initialize it to 0. When you calculate a product, you always need to declare and initialize it to 1 because 0 is the identity element for addition and 1 is the identity element for multiplication. So you always need to initialize them. That is the total that we are going to store, the accumulated sum. Okay, that's the variable. Another variable we need to declare is that we need to get a value from the user. So let's just call it input. Okay, we need to declare those two, and I will just do it right here. Okay, so we need to do it 10 times. Remember, it says 10 numbers. So our loop should run 10 times. Okay, so we still use I. Start from 0 less than 10, 0 to 9, that will be 10 times, and I plus plus. Okay, in it, we will just, you can say enter a number, or you can put this statement outside the loop and just ask the user to enter numbers. Okay. Then the user will enter a number and we will read it into input, right? And then we will add this number to total. That's how you accumulate them, okay? So total plus equal to input. And then let's display it. Your display should be outside. total is outside the loop, okay? And let's still do this line, put it there. Okay, now let's run. Okay, enter a number, I will enter 45. So this is the loop that is running. Okay, so let's go to the top. The total is 205. Okay, you enter 10 numbers and then it continues to display these. So this is how that is done to accumulate the total. Another thing to make sure you remember is this declaration, initialization and declaration must be outside the for loop. Okay, you cannot do it here. You cannot say int total equals to 0. You cannot do that because if you do this, every time the loop runs, when I is 0, your total is 0. When I is 1, your total is 1. When I is 2, your total is 2. So it's always resetting total to 0. That's why you cannot declare and initialize it inside the loop. Okay, that is that one. Let's do this one. Modify the previous problem so that if the user enters a 0, the loop exits. This is to illustrate how to use the break statement. Okay, so if the user enters, okay, let's say if input is 0, okay, remember the double equal sign, then we exit a loop. How do we exit a loop? We use the break statement to get out. When you say break, it gets out of this for loop. So if it breaks, this will not be executed. Okay, let's run. Okay, I will enter 45 and then I will enter 0 and you will see the total should be 45. Okay, let's see, go to the beginning, total is 45. We entered 0, this condition is true, it breaks out of this for loop, okay? And then it displays the total and continues with the code. So that is the for loop, that's the for statement. What you need to remember is, once again, you need all three statements there, okay? And also remember, I talked about this. This is an assignment statement. So you cannot simply do I plus 2. That will be an expression that will not increment I, okay? That is the for loop.